and welcome back to another one of my thrilling videos where I talk to you about the kinds of cameras which I find in charity shops, shoot with them and then share the results. And without further ado, today we're going to be looking at the Olympus SuperZoom 700 XB. Where do they come up with these names? Where do they come up with these names? So let's get straight into it, because I know you're all eager for thrilling content. So today let's have a look at the camera. I've already said that, so I don't know why I'm repeating myself. Anyway, this camera I picked up, I believe it was in late 2020 from a charity shop when shops were open briefly before we were in lockdown once again, and I think I picked this camera up for the princely sum of £1. I picked this camera up for £1, and it looked fairly interesting. It didn't look too complicated, so let's just have a little bit of a look at the camera. So obviously on the front of the camera, let's start with the basics. Here we have the little red LED, which is generally, excuse me, as far as I'm aware, used for the self timer. That gives you an indicator of that the camera is getting ready to take a self-timed picture. Obviously you have the viewfinder and you have the light sensor up the top here. As you can see, it's an AF camera, it's an autofocus camera, which is always helpful. And then and obviously you have the flash just here, as where else would it be? And then here, a strange option for turning the flash off and for putting the camera into landscape mode. And what's strange about that is that it doesn't stick, well, like when you're shooting. So if you say, oh, I'm going to take a landscape shot, if you press it up, it doesn't stick, it just comes back down. So you have to hold this up when you're taking your shot and then release it after you've taken the shot. And the same for the to turn the flash off, you have to hold that down when you're taking the shot. I think that's a little bit strange. Alright, so as you can see, we can't see the lens on the front of this camera, and that is because it has been hidden behind the front here where it says SuperZoom 700 XB. This is probably the most exciting thing about the camera, so prepare yourself. So I'll just turn the camera slightly on its side and we're going to slide this to the left. 1, 2, 3. How thrilling is that? Sounding like a dentist's drill coming out. So on the top of the camera here, I'll just show you a little close-up in a minute, you've got the telephoto or the wide zoom options. So if we press this in, ooh, that's sexy. Not. Sounding like a dentist's drill, you have the 38 to 70mm zoom lens, and it's not particularly impressive whilst using the camera. It seems to take forever to zoom in, so I tend to not use the zoom. So let's just turn this camera around. So obviously on the side here, it's got the little clip to open the camera up to load the film. So there we go. Exactly the same as any other point and shoot camera. Nice and clean inside here. It takes your regular 35mm film. So we're going to shut that up. Got a lovely big viewfinder. Love a big viewfinder. Let's see if can see through it. It's that big, you can see through it, although there isn't particularly anything interesting on the actual screen on the inside. So let's just get this to refocus. There you go. So on the side here, compartment which opens from here, you just put it open this way, which contains 2 AA batteries. Shut that back up. Okay, so just having a look on the top. Okay, so just to remind you, it tells you on the top, extra big viewfinder, for those people that forget it's an extra big viewfinder. Hey, I've got an extra big viewfinder. Oh yeah, I already knew that. So here you've got the rewind mechanism. So when you completed your film, it won't self-rewind. You have to remind it, and you have to press that button that way, and it will rewind. Pretty straightforward. You have your film counter, you've got the self-timer icon, which I'll show you in a minute, you've got your shutter button, and you've got your telephoto and your wide. On the bottom of the camera, nice little hole for a tripod. Don't always see these on point and shoots, so that's nice. Olympus, Tokyo, Japan. Assembled in Philippines, parts made in Japan. That's just too much. So that is the camera. I'll just show you the self-timer mechanism. So what you have to do, just like here, you have to hold things down whilst you're doing it. If I want to take a picture of myself and a friend, I have to hold that down and press the button, and you'll see the light has come on. Run away, run away. get ready. Anytime. This century. Anytime. There we go. So that's the self-timer button working well. You'll probably notice at the end of this video that some of the photographs that I have taken have all got a kind of pink tinge, and that was because I used a Truprint, sorry, 24 exposure, 200 ISO. This is probably about, from a guess, about 20 years old, because I know they discontinued Truprint a while, but actually the pictures come out really nice. And I've noticed that if you use expired film that isn't too old, you definitely get that kind of pink tinge on the film. I don't know why that is. I'm sure a photography expert would probably be able to give me a better reason, but it seems that as the film ages, dependent on how it's stored, there does definitely appear to be a kind of pinky tinge that appears on kind of expired film, which I quite like. But yeah, so that is the Olympus SuperZoom 700 XB. What was it like to shoot with? Very indifferent. I'm not going to be keeping this camera. What I will say is that the shots that it did provide me on expired film, but that's kind of irrelevant, I think they come out really nice. So not a great camera to shoot with, but I think the quality of the images that the camera provided, or the film provided, who knows, but the camera, it seemed to provide some excellent shots. So it must be a good sensor inside the camera. And please again tell me if I get that wrong. Is it the sensor within the camera that gives you the better quality image? I know that's the case with digital cameras, but what about SLRs? If you know, please leave an answer in the comments. So, you know, let me know what you think of the pictures at the end. And for me, I'm not going to be keeping it. It was a bit, you know, a bit clunky. I mean, having the dentist drill, which I've had on other cameras. You know, hello, I'm a photographer. Oh, right, yeah. What's that? Excuse me, I can't hear you. It's not particularly great, but quality-wise, I think it takes great pictures. For everything else, I don't really like it. It's bulky. It makes a lot of noise. The zoom's very slow. Buttons you have to hold repeatedly, like, you know, the landscape and the no flash option and the self timer. They annoy me. It's not self-rewinding. So I don't really like it. I don't really like it. But let me know your thoughts. I will pop the pictures on the end, and it'd be great to get your thoughts. I'll see you later.